Looking at Daily Independent now, the lead story on the Daily Independent newspaper is on the decision of the federal government to suspend Dana Air. Aviation experts positing that the minister lacks the power to take such a decision. They call it gross interference on safety processes as well as procedures. In the meantime, Dana Air is said to have responded to this latest, saying they are yet to receive any letter from the NCAA, that's the local regulatory body. Obi asked privileged Nigerians to intervene in the area of water and education. Civil servants first to benefit from Tinubu's consumer credit scheme. The president also, at a national summit on Wednesday, asks Judiciary to ensure reforms guarantee Nigerians' well-being as Akpabio assures National Assembly will deliberate enshrine reforms into law. Kaduna Assembly demands El Rufai's transactions as probe begins. Kaduna Assembly demands El Rufai's transactions as probe begins. All right, Vanguard is next. Why power crisis will not end soon. That's according to electricity workers, and there are many riders there by experts, including CPPE, the LCCI. Among the riders are frequent system collapse caused by technical other factors, gas shortages, aging, dilapidated machinery, inadequate power evacuation capacity. So many, issues in the power sector being highlighted in this report. On the hardship in the land, Sanwo-Olu launches Eco Cares intervention for 500,000 Lagosians. Lead British school scandal. Victim sues bullies, gives ultimatum for sanctions. And up above the masthead, FG recovers 57 billion naira from 10 ministries, departments, and agencies. Failed Air Nigeria AFCC operatives grill Sirika as ex-minister defense role. And on the Okwama Ewu killings, more than 12 residents trapped in forest die of hunger and sickness. As Obure Wori, that's the governor of Delta, inaugurates committee to resettle, rehabilitate villagers. Many villagers said to still be missing. Silent Times is next. 4 commissioners resigned from Fubara's cabinet in Rivers State. Peace has remained out of reach, says one of the commissioners who resigned, that's Kamalu, and according to the information commissioner, their resignation, that's that of Adango and Kamalu, insignificance to the Rivers government. I've broken the jinx of who is your father in Oyo politics, says Governor Makinde. FG flags off consumer credit scheme, launches portal for easy access. On Yaya Bello, published code of conduct for leaders, Lukman tells APC. Multi-choice hikes DSTV GoTV prices in 3 years. Father arrested for impersonating son during UTME. And on Yaya Bello, still AFCC withdraws case at appeal court. To First News now. NCAA slams indefinite suspension on Dana Air. Eco Disco My Odyssey by embattled MD CEO. Allow opposition to breathe, Edo APC tells PDP as campaign commences. I'm not desperate about 2027 presidency, says Peter Obi. Stop misusing ex parte order, Akpabio tells judges. The Matrix says rivers of crisis. Tinubu's peace deal collapses as more pro-Wike loyalists resign from Fubara's administration after redeployment. And Fubara fires back, saying those resigning have refused to shape up to the peace deal. All right, some other stories there. Several Binance-like platforms still operating, causing Naira to depreciate. BDCs tell FG. Obi speaks on LP dispute, says it's nothing compared to disquiet in PDP. And following or ahead of the Ondo-Gobe race, Mimiko to run under ZLP vows to focus on education, health, and the economy. Finally, with me is Daily Trust. Corruption, undue influence undermining our justice system, says CJN Ariwola, with Tinubu NBA demanding judiciary reforms. And politicians, not judges, to blame. That's another stakeholder there speaking. Concerns as fuel queues worsen in Abuja, Lagos, and other cities. Varsity workers demand 350,000 minimum wage. Tinubu approves takeoff of consumer credit scheme. Zulum to military, establish base in Sambesa forest. And poultry farmers lose birds as temperature hits over 40 degrees.
So we move to the Daily Times newspaper. It says Tinubu to Judiciary undertake reforms for functional justice system. Kaduna Assembly commences probe into El-Rufai's financial dealings. Federal government addressing root causes of violent extremism, says counter-terrorism boss. Alleged $9.6 billion P&ID scam. Hearing in EFCC suit against fleeing Britain stalled. That's in the Daily Times newspaper this morning. Let's move to the Nation newspaper. Government opens Nigerians access to consumer credit with 100 billion naira. Scheme to put money in pockets, stimulate manufacturing. Experts, speaker, program okay. Lagos target 500,000 households under Equal Care's free meal initiative. Telecoms firms seek nod to raise tariffs. Tax defaulting politicians to be barred from contesting. That's in the Nation newspaper this morning. We move to Nigerian News Direct. Hardship. Federal government kicks off 100 billion naira consumer credit scheme. Civil servants to benefit in first phase. EFCC goes after PTOP operators and over 14 forfeited properties to Enugu government. MRS considers voluntary delisting from NGX to hold EGM. Investors sell off stocks in MTN Nigeria, others as NGX ASI declines by 1.20%. Federal government grounds Dana air flights. That's in the front page of the Nigerian News Direct this morning. Let's move to this Nigeria. Merchandised agriculture will combat rising food prices. Experts seek more funding for sector. Racketeering destroying the mining industry, federal government laments. Revokes 924 dormant titles. Gives 30 days to defaulters to rectify status. Multi-choice hikes tariff by 25%. Premium now 37,000 naira from 29,500. Rivers, 2 commissioners quit Fubara's cabinet. Military airstrikes kill 16 fleeing terrorists in Borno State. That's in this Nigeria this morning. So we'll move to the Guardian newspaper, and of course, that's the last one with me here. Federal government's non-retention policy, over 5,032 first-class graduate languish amid vacancies in varsities. Wike's loyalist rejects redeployment, resigned from Rivers cabinet. Zulum urges establishment of military bases in Sambisa Forest, Mandara Hills. EFCC withdraws appeal against order restraining Yahaya Bello's arrest. That's in the Guardian newspaper this morning. Kevin.
Right. As we see from the papers, it's Rivers predominant, the latest in the Rivers crisis, Rivers governance crisis, the most dominant story from what we see in the papers. The Matrix has a very captivating or catchy headline calling it Rivers of Crisis. Tinubu's peace deal collapses, and, there's so many issues. Of course, governance is the issue, but when you now look at how that the people have been, there's been so many distractions of late in Rivers State, that will definitely impact adversely on how well governance is served on residents in Rivers State. It's a crucial ministry. They're talking about the Ministry of Justice, where we see, but of course, work continues. There are other officers that will be there, and depending on how the government responds, there will be a replacement. There is expected to be a replacement, any time from now. But, all these issues, the back and forth between the government of the day and his predecessor, Wike, who is now the SCT minister.
Remember they say when 2 elephants fight, the grass suffers. This I remember the time we talked about this, and we're talking about the fact that peace should return to Rivers State because governance is close to being lost in that place. This is not speaking well for the governor of Rivers State, of course, and his predecessor as well. We should have a situation whereby there was actually an amicable transfer of power, and so governance should take forth as it is, but this is stopping good governance from getting to Rivers people, and it's so appalling. I'm not from Rivers State, quite right, but it's so appalling that this is happening in Nigeria, in Rivers State, and it's of course happened over time. Remember Amechi Wike issue at a point as well. Now this is happening. It just smacks of recklessness. So the governor of Rivers State they should ensure that peace should reign definitely. Ensure that the people of Rivers State do not suffer for all of this.
Absolutely. And, of course, the issue of loyalty now in politics is also, rearing its head up again in this matter, in our own style.
Anybody can choose to be loyal to whoever they want to be.
Our own style of playing politics.
Good governance. Yeah. But it shouldn't affect good governance. We can be loyal to any other person. But when we are held in high esteem, we hold public office, we should understand that it is for the people of Rivers State. It's for the people who are supposed to give good governance to the people and not to ensure our paymasters get a hand of the largesse. But we should ensure that the Rivers people do not suffer for this, like I said earlier.
All right. We will, of course, continue to see how far with things in Rivers State and hope that today will bring some more positive developments regarding, enshrining governance.